Victims of the deadly quake in Morocco are calling for the alternative solutions after they were displaced by disaster. Many of the victims are to be found in Marrakesh Jewish quarter, scattered about the street with fears of an aftershock of the quake. Details in this report.
Hungry, scared and bereaved. It is a mixture of emotions for these Moroccans who were lucky enough to survive the deadly earthquake that had cost the lives of more than 3,000 people so far. They are struggling to find food, water and shelter as the desperate search for the missing continues in remote villages. They have now resorted to sleeping on the street through the cold night on empty stomachs with hopes of finding their missing loved ones.
والو ما عندهمش ليلى يلا تيباتو في الزنقه انت شوف اش كاين تيباتو في الزنقه تيباتو في الزنقه ما عندهم ما ياكلوا
الوضعيه انه راه انت تشوف راه كارثه عظمى وراه تنطلبوا من سيدنا الله ينصروا انه يشوف في هاد الناس هادو لان حي السلام الملاح تتعرفوه بالله حي قديم وانتم تشوفوا الوضعيه في الملاح.
At least 300,000 people were estimated to be affected by the disaster, according to the United Nations. The Friday night magnitude 6.8 quake left the homeless fearing for more aftershocks.
راه الناس ناعسه في ديورها وناعسه في البرطمات ديالها وناعسه في الفيلات ديالها والناس هنايا تتعاني. حنا ما تيهمناش الاعانه الماكله، حنا ما بيناش الماكله، حنا بينا البديل.
Amidst calls for help from neighboring countries and the international community, residents are worried about the damage in hard-to-reach communities with the worst destruction. These rural areas are served only by unpaved roads that snake up the mountainous terrain, which are now covered by fallen rocks, making rescue effort almost impossible.
To discuss this, we're joined by Mohammed Tada, a climate change expert. Thank you very much, Mohammed, for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
How do the floods in Libya and the earthquake in Morocco relate to climate change, and what factors have contributed to their occurrence?
Thank you very much for this question. Wonderful question. Climate change, for us to better understand what is climate change and its impacts, we need to know what is that climate change. This climate change is shifts in temperature over a long period of time and is caused mainly by global warming. This global warming is caused by our anthropogenic activities. These anthropogenic activities include the rate of our production, the rate of our urbanization, the rate of our exploitation, the rate at which we manufacture goods, and the rest. We create a lot of harmful gases called greenhouse gases to the atmosphere. And these greenhouse gases have negative effects on ozone layer. This will lead to what we have, what you call global warming. This global warming, it could be as a result of deforestation, it could be as a result of poor waste management, it could be as a result of overexploitation, overgrazing, and many more. What happened in Libya, it could happen in many parts of the world. More especially in Nigeria, we are vulnerable because our land is fragile and our evapotranspiration is very high compared to other places. So the best thing to do is to create awareness. Let people know what are the causes of this climate change. What are the consequences of this climate change? Politically, creating awareness among the populace, teaching this thing in schools, more especially the consequences and the causes.
What are some lessons, really, or best practices that Nigeria could learn from the experiences of Libya and Morocco to enhance its own disaster management strategy? Because you did say it does have regional implications.
Yeah, it does. So what we need to learn from what happened in other parts of the world is early warning. First, we need to standardize our early warning. And we need to finance our emergency teams. We need to create awareness to the people that live in riverine areas. We need to also learn how to act in case of such disaster. So we need to go back to our drawing book, look at our emergency, look at how we can, if this will happen in Nigeria, Maiduguri, or in any part of this country, how can we proactively help people, evacuate people, and give them maximum support in terms of feeding, bedding, and housing them.
Three things from what you've said: financing, emergency preparedness, and education. Okay, looking ahead, what are the potential long-term consequences of climate change for North Africa, particularly in relation to increased frequency and severity of the floods and the earthquakes and other natural disasters we're seeing?
There are consequences, and more especially, we need to learn, because most of our people don't even believe what is climate change and its consequences. It took many time for people like us to convince people to believe the existence of this climate change. So first and foremost, we need to create awareness, teach people, let them know the existence of this climate change, and let us know what are the causes. Then what are the consequences? If we create this awareness, and our government, in the part of government, they did their own, that is political will, to be able to support the authority, the department, the agencies that are responsible for this preparedness and for this emergency, like NEMA and SEMA and the rest. So the creating awareness is very, very important, and political will, and so on and so forth.
We do have our work cut out for us. Thank you very much, Mohammed Tada, for speaking with us.
Thank you very much.